What's going on, you guys? This is RBG, aka The Random Black Gamer, bringing you another video on Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. It's been a while since we talked about this game, but now that things are picking up and Spike Chunsoft has showed that they have zero pause when it comes to adding things to the game, people are now proud to pick it back up and see what they have to offer. And we have some new things that they're bringing to the table, and I hope you guys stay tuned. But before we dive into today's topic, I want to ask you guys to do me the biggest favor and like this video. Yeah, I know it's annoying getting this request at the very beginning of a video before you watch it in its entirety, but YouTube's algorithm encourages it. So if you rock with your boy and you know I'm gonna bring that awesome content, then press that like button and smash that hype button. But if by any chance you just so happen to be new to the channel and you feel like I've wasted 10 minutes of your time that you can't get back, feel free to retract that like and give it a dislike. Just rate the video. But yeah guys, Sparking Zero. This title has been out for over a year now, and there was a lot of talk and debate going on in regards to the support that it should be receiving. Some fans thought that it was enough since we got a lot of characters upon its initial release, but others felt like there were things lacking in certain quantities, such as characters that were in the previous games but were now currently missing in this new one. Then the same can be said for the map/stages, which is a big surprise because some of these stages were already embedded in the game's data, but for whatever reason you couldn't access them unless you were playing on the PC and you modded them back into the game. And then there's the story mode, or should I say episode battle. That thing had so much potential with all of its what-if scenarios and branching paths, but for whatever reason it just comes to a screeching halt after a certain amount of characters are used, making it feel incomplete and like they were going to add something else later to it. And hopefully we do get that. It seems like we're on the path to get that because Spike Chunsoft, like I said, Spike Chunsoft, they have been in the lab, it seems like they have listened, and now they're ready to speak. And we've been seeing that since we got that trailer 3 weeks ago about how they're going to be adding these new characters as well as new modes that we're probably going to see later on after they address some of the main issues such as the roster. Speaking of the roster, we got to talk about this latest edition of V-Jump, and if you guys know anything about V-Jump, then you know it's very synonymous when it comes to Sparking Zero, because back when this game was first announced, you could always depend on these V-Jump issues to provide certain details in regards to the upcoming trailers as well as the characters that will be featured in them. And now this time around it's going to be showcasing the new features that we could look forward to seeing added to Sparking Zero, starting with cooperative techniques, which is something that we got a chance to see in that trailer we got 3 weeks ago, where it showcased Super Saiyan God Blue, Goku, and Vegeta performing their specials, the Kamehameha and the Gallic Gun, on Dragon Ball Super Broly. Now, when I initially saw this, I thought that this was going to be tailored to some kind of story mode feature where we actually get a chance to play that in episode mode, but this looks like it's going to be something where in team battle, if you pick Goku alongside Vegeta, particularly the super versions, it'll allow you to perform this team ultimate attack or cooperative technique as they call it, which is an awesome and welcomed addition to Sparking Zero, because originally the only way that you can execute a team attack is if it's tailored to a specific character. For example, if you were to pick somebody like Bertra or Jace, you could activate their purple comet attack, and the same can be said for others like Super Saiyan Goten, where you could essentially summon Trunks to activate the double Kamehameha from Bio Broly. But now it looks like we're going to access these special moves in a different kind of way as opposed to just having them tailored to specific characters. Anyways, we got to move on to some of the other bullet points. First off, I want to give a major shout out to Venixis over on X because they were the ones who translated this thing. It says, and I quote, "The latest entry in the Sparking series, played by fans all over the world, is about to get even more exciting. DBSZ, large-scale DLC release confirmed for summer 2026 with an overwhelming number of characters and stages that change with the weather. This title offers the ultimate role-playing experience and it's powering up." So yeah guys, we can definitely be looking forward to this in 2026, and the fact that it's being featured in V-Jump just confirms this. It's very clear that Spike Chunsoft, like I said, they have a roadmap ahead, and now it's going to take a further look into some of the characters that they showcase, starting with Super Saiyan Bardock, which is a version of the character that was originally featured in the Dragon Ball Heroes games but never saw the light of day in any other Sparking/Tenkaichi titles. But now he is here and you don't have to mod him in, and apparently you don't have to be concerned about this character being utilized in a separate slot from the original, because he is going to be added as an update to the original Bardock, where you can choose to transform mid-battle or you could just have it start off as this version of the character. And that's an awesome plus, because for the longest time the biggest issue that I had with this game was the unnecessary additions of characters that are basically the same version of pre-existing ones. But now the developers have wisened up and it seems like we're going back to the basics, back to those days where we played the Budokai games and you saw all of these different transformations packed into one character. I mean, yeah, I understand that characters such as Goku and Vegeta are gonna have different variations from their respective era, but there's no excuse for characters who don't have that nuance. If that transformation is tailored to a character from the same era, just put him into the same slot. Not only does it keep things consistent, but it also allows for more gameplay flexibility, because each form of a fighter comes with a specific move set, and sometimes we aren't able to access that move set unless we transform or power down, and we want to be able to do that in the middle of a match. But if you assign those transformations to one specific slot, then we're only going to have the moves available with that transformation, and let's be honest, some moves are better than others, so granting us the ability to transform mid-battle is a mandatory thing. Not to mention, it looks cool. Like, that's literally a new animation for Bardock. But moving on, we got to talk about a returning character, that being Demon King Piccolo, which is a DB character, and he'll be joining the likes of DB Kid Goku. I believe the last time we saw this guy was in Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3, and he'll most likely come equipped with all the moves that he had in that respective title, such as the explosive Demon Wave, which is most likely going to receive a visual facelift. I'm hoping that we get more characters from DB up in here, especially the ones that we got in the previous titles, such as Aether, General Blue, Devilman, and even some other characters that we have yet to see in a Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi or Sparking title. Maybe give us a Dragon Ball version of Tien Shinhan. I always felt like that was a very underrated character that people don't give enough appreciation to, especially with all the things that he presented and changing the whole fighting landscape of Dragon Ball Z. The dude could literally multiply his arms, and I would enjoy fighting with him online. But moving on, the next returning character that we have is Super Android 17, except this time he isn't coming alone. Yeah, you heard me correctly, he's going to be coming with Hellfighter 17 as well, which is a version of 17 that was created in Hell by Dr. Gero in collaboration with Dr. Mew, making him half machine, half mutant. And if you do the math, this is the third version of 17 that we've gotten, because we got the original Z version of the character as well as Dragon Ball Super, which both come with their own unique movesets and ultimate attacks. And now we have this latest edition who's also going to have his own unique moves, meaning that you can add these 3 different versions of 17 to the same team and they will all function differently. Not only that, but if you have Z17 and Hellfighter 17 on the same team, you can make them fuse during battle to form Super 17, which is something I did not expect the developers to do, because that character has always been a standalone one, even dating back to the Budokai series in Infinite World. Even though Hellfighter 17 was different from the original, he wasn't distinctive enough to have his own character made in the game, so they always just gave us Super 17. But now that we are getting that version of the character, we're going to be able to see a unique animation that mirrors the one from Dragon Ball GT. Not to mention that we're still going to be granted the luxury of picking Super 17 to start off with, as opposed to just picking 2 of the characters to transform into him, which will potentially give you a stat boost of some kind or increase your health. It just gives you that variety and option. Speaking of variety and options, we got to talk about this Gohan Youth or Teen Gohan Super Saiyan 2, because as the article suggests, it says in addition to new playable characters, we are planning high volume content such as customization for existing characters, which includes costumes that change both appearance and techniques, which basically means that this version of Teen Gohan that you see wearing his BoJack Unbound outfit is going to feature moves from that movie, as opposed to the usual moves that we see tailored to his Cell Saga version. And once again, I just gotta say, another welcomed addition to Sparking Zero. Like, this is something that I did not expect Spike Chunsoft to do, actually show so much attention to detail, where we get costumes that have their own techniques tailored to them, as opposed to having that look be split off into another character slot. And getting this detail is really going to change the game for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, because there are so many different examples of characters sporting different looks and utilizing moves that were done while they were wearing certain attire. I would love to see that same kind of thing implemented with characters like Trunks, for example, giving him his BoJack Unbound look where he has the cut off sleeve jacket, which in my honest opinion is his best look and for whatever reason has yet to see the light of day in any other Dragon Ball Z games. But it would be awesome if we could see that in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero and see him perform an ultimate where he impales his opponent with his fist. But anyways, in regards to other things, like I said, we're going to be getting the new stages such as the Kame House, aka Master Roshi's crib, as well as new modes where it says what will happen at the locations marked with icons on the map. Look forward to a brand new experience. And I'm not quite sure what they're alluding to with that. That could possibly be something where they add new episodes to the episode battle mode and we can see some other characters that have their own branching paths. We'll just have to wait and see. But that's all the news that I got for you guys today. I hope you are as excited as I am, because these are the things that we've been asking for, and it seems like Spike Spike Chunsoft is delivering those things in spades after a long wait. But what are your thoughts? Do you like these new changes, and do you feel like there's more that needs to be added? Let me know in the comment section below. As always, I ask you like or dislike the video. It doesn't have to be a thumbs up, it can be a thumbs down. But if you really enjoyed this video, it would help me out tremendously if you shared it with all your friends and followers on all the different social media outlets. Sharing really makes a difference. But once again, this is your boy RBG signing out on another video. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.